Squash XL Pro is an elite team that work hard to train, play and run squash events on our journey to climb the world rankings. Like, subscribe, comment, pick up some of our merch on Teespring.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of the men's semi-finals at the PLACEMAKERS WAIKATO Open 2021. And on the court there we have the left-handed Evan Williams, the New Zealand champion, up against Willz Donnelly, who of course had a 4-game victory over Joe Larscott today. And just checking which side to go to, Willz Donnelly. Great to have Hassan with me. And Hassan, you've been playing the tournament yourself. What grade have you been playing in?
I'm in Division 2, so I'm in Division 2, so I'm roughly kind of playing in the division with a high B. It's all B2 division, right. Roughly, yeah. High B2s, low B2s. Okay. Aside from the top seed, everybody else is within 10-20 points of each other, so it's very good games, very good draw to play in.
Well, that's good with, I think, 150 plus players playing in from grade 8 in the men's right up to the open grade here, through to, and the women's, I think there's 7 grades. It's got to be great for any club, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Obviously, WAIKATO Open's a big tournament, but you know, I'm not sure I've ever seen this many people involved in the tournament ever before. Especially the WAIKATO Open, obviously. Yeah. It's normally a little bit smaller.
Well, it's great news for this club and for squash in the WAIKATO, because you know they're all enjoying themselves. We've got a big crowd here watching this first couple of points so far in this semi-final. And there you go. You can just see what we saw with Evan Williams in his quarterfinal was that against John Wigan, who was running everywhere. I mean, he just wouldn't stop running. What we saw was that Evan was quite okay to just bide his time. Wasn't in a rush to actually, I'm down by a couple of points.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, with Evan it's quite interesting because he had a bye first round, so he actually hasn't really had that much time on court.
Right.
So I'm sure someone in this position would be quite comfortable to play a couple of longer rallies, get a bit more minutes under his belt. Because someone like him would prefer to get some match play, some match experience before heading into the more important later stages like the semi now, and obviously if you progress it to the final later on. And out of all the finalists, the last 4 at least, he's had the least playing time out of all of them.
Well, what we've seen on this particular court is if you can get good depth, you're almost in with a chance at the point, because the ball's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah,
it's not coming
very
off
dead
the
in the back. Yep.
But certainly off the glass at the back. It's, well, there you go. It just gives you a couple of funny bounces. We've seen a few players have to really readjust their footwork, and it just gives that little bit of uncertainty in the player's mind.
Yeah, definitely. I think once you get the ball deep in this court, if you're not taking it early, you're going to end up digging it out and lifting it out of the back. Oh, that's a great shot.
That was a great shot.
Oh, it must have been down.
Oh, it was?
Oh, wait.
So already several long rallies between these two players. And no fuss. Obviously, in the match that Willz Donnelly won, there was a few challenged calls, and Joel Larscott wasn't very happy. Nice, not quite, but nice play from Willz Donnelly.
Yeah, no, it's quite a good win for Willz, definitely.
Yep.
Joel and Willz have quite a few
good
fight
battles.
matches, yeah, definitely. And on this occasion, Willz was the better player overall.
Yeah.
And even despite the reffing, you know, he was playing quite well. He's improved a little bit coming into this tournament. And now he's made the semi-final against Evan, who is also, you know, someone who regularly hits with him.
Yeah, we had Willz lost in 4 and Morrinsville to Joe Larscott. However, he won in 5 at Royal Oak. So, you know, it's between the two of them, you never really know.
Nah, definitely not. It's just who's better than they. They're both. You'd normally expect Joel to be on a little bit of a higher level, but Willz is actually, I'd say, matching Joel quite well. And Willz has actually improved quite a bit over the past year
yes.
compared to how he was playing at senior nationals. He was at nationals at North Shore last year. Just watching him play, like, improved a lot. He's very aggressive now. He's stepping forward.
Yeah, certainly this last 6 months, I guess, for the NZ champs through to now, he really has improved his game overall with patience and variety, and probably his fitness as well.
And it's quite good, like, looking at him playing Evan, like, he's definitely pushing Evan, moving Evan around the court. He's not being very passive,
Just tried a little bit too much there. And for people watching, the women's final between Emma Miller and Caitlin Watts will be 1:15 tomorrow. The men's at 2 p.m. But certainly Evan Williams chops under the ball quite nicely. Just when the ball comes back off the front wall, it just gives nothing back. There's no power, no pace.
He really cuts it in quite well into the corners there. Not only keeping it short, but he's also keeping it tight, further closer to the side wall, so Willz can't really get anything on it.
Yeah, that was. I wouldn't say it was a sitter to win the point, but it was open there for him. It's fair enough to get frustrated.
It's good. It would have been a shot that put Willz under a decent amount of pressure, and then Evan would have looked to keep that going through the rally. And obviously, as somebody of Evan's standard, unforced errors, big no-no. Especially when you're ranking number 2 in New Zealand, that's the kind of standard you have to hold yourself to, as seen by his reaction.
Well, so far this match is pretty much on turbo. It's on fast speed. And you see that one? Yeah, squeezed into the back. But these guys aren't slowing down.
No, definitely not. The pace is quite high, intensity is quite high. Not seeing too much variation in the pace, not really as much kind of lifting, not many lobs. It's all just bang, bang, bang. Oh, there we go, there's a lift by Evan. There we go. Now we're seeing a bit more variation, a bit more use of height.
I swear my eyes saw that out.
Oh no, that was in.
Okay, I'm seeing anything.
So imagine if us arguing over it, what the refs must be thinking as well, right?
Exactly.
Doubting themselves even.
Oh, gee.
Getting a little bit scrappy. Oh, that was tight.
Come on, what are you going to call that one?
I think that was unjust. It might have been on the bottom edge of the red line, if anything.
Well, the players aren't arguing about it so far, so we'll see who loses the point to see if they do.
Quite a strong start from Evan, really.
Yeah,
Willz has tried to mount.
He's just kind of calm, isn't he? Aside from the shot that he mucked up, but he's calm in the sense that okay, I'm in the lead at the moment, so that's all good.
Just amazing to see these players, how little the ball gets to the back wall.
Yeah.
They're always pushing up, pushing forward.
And so a good point to get back there for Willz Donnelly. Hasn't been that cold outside today, although certainly in Hamilton tonight it's hit 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock and bang, it's got colder now.
Yeah.
Plenty of people in watching. Where's he going there? Plenty of people in watching surrounding this court. It'll create a little bit of heat.
Body heat, eh? Yeah. Evan's just controlling that tee quite well.
So it'd be interesting to know where people are watching from at the moment. If you're around New Zealand, you can let us know. Willz Donnelly still retrieving the balls here, and finally just couldn't pick that one up enough. And well played again, another calm performance from M. Williams. Just pushed him out to the game ball, first game ball.
it's even quite interesting to see how these players are looking to cut the ball off, trying to control the tee, cut the ball off. I thought that ball hit Evan. I thought Willz missed that and it hit Evan, but
Yeah.
I think Evan might be thinking differently.
Well, it came back at Evan's body, and I guess that was. Gee. Yeah. Well, there we go. We've got a Wellington supporter, Evan supporter, and great to have Alana.
Hutt City Squash.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Alana Van Velsen. Great to have you, Alana. And let's not forget that the NZ champs come down to your way at Hutt City. In fact, it's next month now, June, yeah, so late June. And as Evan Williams takes the first game. Well, we are back indeed for this, the second game. And Evan Williams, the top seed. Yeah, he won the first nicely. We've had Nick Russell coming in with support for Willz. Anybody else got any support as well for either Willz or for Evan?
Yeah, I played another Donnelly today. Played him earlier today, my second match of the day. He's quite a nice person to play. Good game. Wasn't 1 and 4. Very good run around.
So how are some of these other divisions, like the division that you're playing in? So good entries, good people from around Waikato, Auckland, Bay of
Yeah,
Plenty?
bit of a mix. Like I'm obviously from the Auckland region. We have a couple of other players from Royal Oak Squash Club, which is in Auckland as well. Then we've got a bit of Waikato. We've got somebody from Te Awamutu as well.
Oh, that's great.
You know, it's quite a good mix. And the great thing is it's a very competitive draw. Anybody can play anybody and get a good match. Other than really the top seed, everybody else is pretty close on points to each other.
What have we got?
All within 10-20, all low B2s. But it's quite good squash all around, really.
Right, well, let's see. Well, the pace hasn't really dropped so far in this match.
Nah, not really.
That's good work.
Evan's,
It's a big circle that Willz had to run there.
Evan's just putting the work into Willz right now. Not seeing Evan under too much pressure. It's all very controlled. You can tell by looking at his movement, he's in his zone, very comfortable. Not really stretching too much. Oh, it's a good get from Willz.
You see that Evan just checking.
Great from Willz. Evan's just trying to keep Willz under pressure. But good use of height from Willz to stay out of it.
So, chop of the ball. Using the lob well, both players. Just checking. So, this might be good for Willz as well. Just doing up his laces, just taking some time, reassess.
Fuck, I haven't seen someone do up their laces in a while.
So, happy to mention any comments coming through. If you've got a club that you're supporting, that you play at, or if you're watching from a particular part of the country. I'm sure there's a few more Wellington supporters out there.
Yeah, they're both quite popular players. You'll get, I'm sure you'll see Willz fans and you'll see Evan fans as well.
I haven't seen anybody out of Taupo yet, and that's where Willz, that's his main club.
Oh, yeah.
And he originally came from, I think it was Gisborne. Anybody from Gisborne? I'm sure there might be someone.
Great squash to watch. Oh, it's good hunting there by Willz, just looking for that volley as soon as Evan's cross balls.
And very typical of Mason Smales walking past us with a whole lot of very nice warm food, instead of just letting it waft around us.
Good old Mason.
He's a big young lad, so he needs all the food, I guess.
He's had quite a good tournament, I'd say. He played 10 much first round.
Well, he beat Joe Smythe today in a tight one.
And that's quite interesting because Joe was the runner-up in the New Zealand Junior Open just last week, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and Mason played in that, came third, so it's actually definitely an improvement from Mason. And he's improved a lot since last year as well.
Yeah.
Going from being on the cusp of A grade to being a very solid A grader. Training out of Henderson Squash Club.
Let's now see a little bit of a lead coming out here for Evan Williams, the top seed, ranked 84 in the world. And just a few loose shots. Oh, and just as I say, loose shots from Willz Donnelly, Evan Williams does well. So let's see who can tighten up their game a little bit more.
Oh, it's a great shot from Evan.
That's just too good in that point.
Yeah, Willz is just reacting at this point.
I think again what Williams did there, he held the ball nicely, knew where his opponent was, didn't try to do too much.
Yeah.
Nice.
Willz just trying to cover the cross court, but Evan obviously noticing they ain't going straight, punching it straight.
Yeah, that's one thing that Evan Williams does very well. He is able to understand where his opponent is.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously a little bit of that might be because they've trained with each other for a little bit, so they're used to each other's movement patterns and hitting, but very good on-court awareness from Evan. It's a great drop by Willz.
And
The scoreline in this game looking pretty similar to the first. Good control from Evan.
again, a measured approach from Evan Williams. See Willz try and step forward, take that one early.
Yeah, Willz trying to step forward, be a bit more aggressive. It's quite good. Oh, we went with the shot there. It's quite good to see from Willz considering he's this is his second match today, and it was a pretty hard match against Joel.
Yeah, it was well over an hour of that match, that game over Joel Arscott, and it was pretty brutal in many different ways. Nice play from Evan Williams, goes up 2-0 against Willz Donnelly, and this the second semi-final of the PLACEMAKERS Waikato Open. We're back on now for this, the third game. It is Evan Williams up by 2-0 over Willz Donnelly. The second game in particular was a bit more straightforward, wouldn't you say, Hassan? The first was really competitive. Second, I think Evan really chose his points a little bit more, and a couple of stray errors from Willz Donnelly.
Yeah. Very, very good control length from Evan in that second one. Not as much punch through the middle of the court in the second game. And now obviously Evan has a 2-love lead, so it's really his this game is really his to lose. Currently he's got control of Willz quite a bit, but then unforced errors and stuff like that coming in the game. Interesting seeing his reaction there, not much of a reaction compared to the first game when he made that similar error. Which obviously shows the difference between the pressure of being in the first game versus being 2-love up. Yeah, Will's just trying to get Evan behind him, but currently that was a good use of height. Yeah, it's great. Good structure from Will's there. Just a call there from the refs for all the spectators to be quiet.
Well, I mean, I think you've got an interesting one there. You want atmosphere.
Yes, definitely.
But they can't quite hear what the score is. So I think you've got to balance that, haven't you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's just a testament to how many people are here watching this final, You don't normally get this kind of atmosphere unless it's really the senior nationals.
Yeah.
When you have people watching and being quiet during rallies and stuff like that.
And I think we're going to have quite a noisy NZ chants as well this year, because it's out of Evans Club. It's going to have a lot of supporters who are going to go kind of crazy.
Famous cousin.
Oh yeah, Aaron, his cousin, who's enthusiastic, very enthusiastic, you might say.
Yeah, the Nationals last year was really him versus the XL team for the yelling match, I was part of the XL team, obviously trying to yell him down. I think we did a pretty good job.
I mean, it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's great. It's what you want. So the competitiveness there with not only the players but the supporters as well. Yeah, getting behind.
Yeah, you definitely want the noise. It's just a matter of actually being able to hear the actual referees.
Yeah, just as soon as the point was over, everybody would go insane.
Because I think the thing is, in tennis, you try and hear the serve because you can actually hear as a player. Squash is slightly different, but you want to be able to talk with the officials a bit more.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And obviously the difference there with tennis reffing and squash reffing, some of the squash refs are usually players, people involved in the sport quite heavily, where tennis players might see a bit of a disconnect due to the fact that they're seeing someone sitting in a suit and tie in a high seat, not really seeing that kind of linkage.
Exactly.
Whereas in squash, there is definitely a role between the player and the ref having to work together to get the desired outcome. Oh, and a loose shot there from. That does not look good. Just a bit of a loose shot from Evan, and I think Willz might have tweaked his ankle maybe a little bit.
Just seemed to. I wouldn't say he didn't go over as such, but he just.
There it was a little bit of a weak position for his ankle.
A bit of a stall on his feet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just a little bit of a shock. I've done that myself a little bit. Yeah, he's all good. Usually it takes about a minute to kind of subside, something like that.
Yeah, it's sometimes when you just sort of stop and you stall on your feet.
There's a little bit of shock coming through,
You just sort of shudder. Certainly playing this point well.
Oh, it's a great drop from.
It's a great point.
It's a good structure as well, controlling the rally.
Change of pace from
it's a good shot,
a couple of really good points. Good change of pace that he's used just there.
Yeah, it was really good use of height from Willz there. Under pressure 2 or 3 times in that rally, just lobbed it over to the back. Gives himself a bit more time to get back on the tee, get in a nice central position, get ready for Evans' next shot.
So after those 2 great shots, we see that shot where he tried for too much.
Unforced errors, mate.
Just the query there from Evan Williams on the spot.
left on the forehand side. Oh, beautiful drop, still going. Oh,
again.
great coverage by Evan there.
Some great recovery from both players.
Cheeky down the middle. Oh, it was a good rally.
Yeah, I got to say that both players looked down and out from that really.
And good
on a couple of
retrieval.
occasions.
To end it on that, it's unfortunate.
So he's finally managed to get out to a couple points advantage, Evan Williams, in this particular third game. Hasn't been easy.
Willz just working the angle there to get the lift from the back to the other side. We're just trying to lift, but not quite getting it over Evan. See, there's another use of height, but again, it's picking it up in the middle of the court. I think the interesting thing to know is not many calls during this game. Not many at all. Maybe one or two in the first, and that's kind of been it. Oh, it's a good volley from Evan.
Well played after all that long rally.
Just shows the class of these players to be able to volley when the ball's that tight to the wall.
Oh, that extra little bit of pace there, you see, we just swung it a bit more. Just that extra pace.
So he's like a hunter looking for the opportunity, right? He's been given an opportunity, just pushes through, takes it, and in situations, usually it puts the player under pressure at the A1 kind of level, but often you see players win points just directly off shots like those.
Ah, well, he's got a decent lead now. Got that 2 points away from the win and a spot in the finals. Be at 2 p.m. tomorrow against one of the Chilisi brothers.
Of course.
It'll be interesting that Tenwa against Lawamba match, because Tenwa had the 5-gamer.
Yeah,
Lawamba had a hard-hitting match, albeit a straight game match against Green Templeton. But
it'll be quite interesting. I think Evan will come into the final relatively unscathed, whereas Lawamba would be the only other player really in the draw to have.
Yeah, it's a pretty assertive
a nice
shot
path
to move to match point.
Yes, definitely.
You can see Lawamba keen to get on the court.
It'll be interesting to see, between Tenwa, can Tenwa do any damage into Louis, or will Louis have a nice run like Evan into the final? And I think the match between Willz and Zach will be quite interesting as well tomorrow. Both players having played.
Oh, nice play to finish it off that one. And well done to both players. And especially there to Evan Williams, who was through the final straight game match.